I am your host this evening, Peter Bryant from Solarian Games. I kicked Jason out of the country, sent him to Ireland, told him to frick off, and I brought a different Mick in, Ian McGarty, right?
McGarty. Yeah.
McGarty.
The
And
more Irish you make it sound, the more appropriate it is since Jason's gone.
Yes, McGarty. So this week on Tabletop Weekly, we're going to talk about the GURPS 4th edition revised, Warhammer Fantasy role-playing 5th edition is coming in 2026, and this is in addition to the other one. We'll talk about that. Alien RPG Evolved Edition, and Invincible RPG update is out. Someone has been playing around with it, and they gave some feedback, and I collected some of that information. So anyway, let's get on with it. So let's talk about GURPS 4th edition revised. So it's not a 5th edition. It's they basically so at GameholeCon, Steve Jackson Games announced, it said they quietly announced that they had been hinting at doing a 5th edition, but they have chosen instead to keep the 4th edition and just sort of revamp it, right? Are you a big GURPS fan?
I mean, I have played quite a bit of GURPS. It's a little crunchier than I lead into at this point in my gaming career.
Right.
But I was known for many a year of GURPS. But
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude, but we always played the editions fairly interchangeably. I do find that all the edition updates and stuff definitely cleaned some stuff up and kind of just kept, knocking some of the dirt off and making it run better.
Yeah. And this is, this plays into the conversation we were having before the show launched. The 80-20 rule, right? It seems like, the GURPS folks have such a massive product, because GURPS is just friggin' massive. It's not just the games. You have like the zillion books, and they make some of the best. I've never really played GURPS. It's not really my system. But we have used their books a lot for reference, for settings and stuff like that. They do a magnificent work with that.
And in the 80s and 90s, you'd get a GURPS book that was so well researched on an area. It was like, it would save you hours in a library. Nowadays you can Google that stuff, but it's like what they compile in some of those source books is just such great, unique informational treasures. But we did a GURPS Old West campaign for a long time when that was one of the, in 1994, that was the smoothest Old West RPG system out there that we could find, and it was a blast. It was great.
That's cool. Yeah, we used to play one of the games that we played for a long time. Is a game you probably never heard of. It's called Fringeworthy. It was made by a company called TriTac Games. They did was it Bureau 13, Stalking the Night Fantastic is a game that you might have heard of from them, but it was an interdimensional game. So it was sort of like Stargate, where you go like through these portals and to other worlds and stuff, but they were other dimensions. It wasn't other times or other places. It was actually literally like going to a different dimension. And
like,
so
Torg style.
Yeah. And so if we wanted to like come up with a world, you could literally go to like a group of GURPS books and just randomly pick 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
And then
roll a d20. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll another d20.
Old West and fantasy. Oh, this is going to be an interesting mix up.
That sounds good. I'd play.
Right, exactly. And it was very cool. So yeah, they've done some really good stuff over the years. Now, with this new version, they said the core focus is on cleaning up wording and layout to make the game easier to use and read.
Yeah, modern. You want it. Modern layout sensibilities have shifted, and you like kind of what the design aesthetic is. So good on them to kind of keep up with the times and make it more aesthetically pleasing, easier to use.
Yeah,
but definitely a reliable gaming engine. Like this thing's been around the block. Like it's not going to break if you use it.
Oh, yeah, those tires have been kicked to death.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jason's checking in. Oh my God, Jason, it's got to be like, what is it, like 4 o'clock in the morning where you are? What is he?
It's in
Ireland. It's what,
5
4
ahead?
hours? 5. It's either 4 or 5, so 12 or 1 a.m.
It's probably the wee hours.
Yeah, but he says this Ian dude sure looks better than that lame Jason guy. It's funny.
It's the hair.
Yeah, he said it's midnight there. So anyway, the rules, any rules changes that they have made will be minimal and presented as additions in clearly marked addenda chapters, so that players can selectively incorporate them into their existing campaign, which also ties into the fact that they're not changing any of the page numbers. So like apparently they're working this in so they're fixing stuff where they can, and then like if they have to like increase distance on something, I think they're putting it in the end of the book, I guess.
Bold move, Cotton. I would that's a heck of a claim to make. God bless them if they can pull that off. My goodness.
Yeah, no doubt.
That sounds like building your house out of cards. And
yeah, it's going to be tricky. You know, they said the new edition will also feature more than 25 pages of best of rules compiled from 21 years of system growth, along with incidental glitch cleanups, such as correcting misused terms. Some of those misused terms are things like damage instead of injury, or then rather than that. You know, I guess for all you grammar nerds out there,
people found one typo.
Right. Change the whole book
in a 400-page book. Yeah.
Dude, you know, we make stuff, right? And you know how people are. Like, they'll be like, oh, this game was unplayable. Why? Well, they used then rather than than in a sentence. Like, are you kidding?
I always thank them for sending me the typos. I say, and go correct it in the PDF. I'll be like, it'll be in the next update. It'll be.
Yeah. So then they said it'll be fully compatible with all existing 4th edition GURPS material, with the top priority being on preserving all page references so that the supplements remain usable. So they said that even though they wanted to make the change to the 5th edition, and while they had talked about it, and then also in the GURPS forums, they've talked about this. There are a lot of people who desire a fully fledged 5th edition to reduce, like you said, the crunch, so that like modern audiences will appeal to it. Some of the other GURPS forums were saying, or some of the people from the GURPS forums were saying that the biggest thing that they wanted was, or one of the biggest things was less controversial words. Like, I know right now there's it's very important to some people. And I get it, whatever. And it's easy enough to write this way to keep like gender out of your explanation if it doesn't need to be there, right? Like, so if you're talking about a male character and you say he, no big deal. But if you're talking about like a character being able to do a thing and it's not like an example of a specific character, keep it neutral. It's easier that way.
I find that, I don't know, having written a lot, like that's sort of what you fall to, because like as you're writing, you're like, they will, I don't know, it's sort of the natural pronoun use, and it has been for a long time and a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but you remember the older way they did books was pretty much it was always he all the time, right? Which was understood to not just be he, it was just that's the word they used. But it's just as easy to write, they, and when you're talking about a game that anyone could be reading, and it's a game, it's the thing where you're going to immerse yourself in the story, so you want to feel as if the story is like you're living that story, right? It's best if you can inject yourself there. Now, again, like I said, if it's an example, a specific person, like this guy Dan, you say he, of course you say he, right? I mean, that's fine. But I found that kind of interesting that was a top point. I thought, again, like the we're saying the misused words. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I guess I'm focused on like, I want the dice to work right. That's my big concern with the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think like the mechanics are there, and I think we all know, having created products, that like they play differently at different tables run by different people, and I hope that that's the case, that they like bend that Play-Doh into whatever you need it to be for your table.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, definitely. And then sort of like the last thing here was says a promise of no rules or page reference changes to maintain total compatibility. Again, back to the page.
That just seems like
the same thing.
Such a gargantuan task to not promise a no page number change.
I know, but those were the top points from the GURPS forum. Like somebody had combed through it, like years of this. And those are the top ones.
Some rules lawyer wants to be able to reference the page number correctly. You're like, maybe changing the page numbers would be good for that table.
All right. Anyway, anything else on any other thoughts on this new GURPS?
No, it's nice. It's like anything. It's nice to see a game system like this that's been around for, like a legacy game system that is continuing to adjust and keep itself relevant and fresh. So I love to see it.
Jesus, I can't even promise no page changes in the same book.
Yes.
Amen, brother. Amen.
It just seems like it's like a curse. I curse you to never change page. Like, no.
No. I can't write now.
I'll never publish again.
Right. All right. So let's talk about Warhammer. Now we did a story. I was putting this, I saw this news article and I'm like, wait a minute, we already talked about this, didn't we? And we didn't. There's actually 2 Warhammer books coming out, like 2 sets of core rules coming out, which is interesting. So Cubicle 7 has announced that a new edition of Warhammer Fantasy RPG is almost ready to launch. It'll come out in 2026, which is the anniversary of the game. The 40th anniversary of the game. Every year's an anniversary. Saying that the 5th edition will be an evolution, not a revolution, of the 4th edition rules and backwards compatibility. I've heard that in the last article. With current supplement is one of the key things that the design team has prioritized. Now, like I said, there's another Warhammer game that we just talked about a month ago, called The Old World. So it was the Warhammer Fantasy, The Old World, which is supposed to be taking place like, I don't know, what was it, like a couple 100 years or 100 years before the actual setting of Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, have you ever played? I played this one time at a convention.
I played. This is another one I played a lot when I was much younger. That I don't even know how. Like I think someone had gotten their hands on this beat up, like UK Warhammer Fantasy hardcover. It was a blast to play, but be careful. It is a gateway drug to Warhammer itself. So
which is when you say drug. Caution. Yeah, when you say drug, you're right, because there's miniatures and the paints and the time sends you down the drain.
Yes, very much so.
Now, what was interesting, and again, I haven't played in a long time, but when I read this, I realized, oh yeah, that's right. It is a percentile system. So Warhammer, plays off a percentile system. But apparently the Old World, the other book that's coming out in the same year, is a D10 dice pool system. So they're coming out with 2 books set in the same universe.
And it's both of them are Cubicle 7?
Yes.
That seems...
I know, right? That seems odd.
It's like you're competing with yourself almost.
Yeah, I guess in a way.
But again, like Cubicle 7, like I played a lot of the One Ring stuff when they put that out. A great system, like it really lovely and well-designed system that, makes a party work together. So like I have no doubt they've designed something nice. But
yeah. I mean, well, they do good stuff. I mean, they're always putting out I haven't played a ton of their stuff, but everything I've seen is beautiful looking, right? And I have to figure if you put something together that looks that good and you can sell all that stuff, your stuff is probably pretty decent. Your design's got to be decent.
And they hire like a good array of different people too, so it's not always like the same voice, which is nice when you're looking at different settings and books. So.
Right.
So they do have, they definitely diversify and, know what they're doing.
Oh, so right. So when you go from one game or one book to another, it doesn't sound like the same person writing that book. They switch it up. So there's different voices.
Even like I find their teams collaborate well. Like when they've like a piece something like this has clearly been worked on by a lot of people.
Right.
But I find that they are edited well and they flow well. Like they take some care in their products.
Nice. All right. Very good. Now it says it will take place in a similar time period to the previous editions, which they say close to the end times, but not there yet.
They're pre-Morkborg. This is 5 years pre.
Okay. And then what's the last bit here? The 4th edition has expanded with dozens of supplements and subsystems, and the designer has been working to look through everything and standardize it all a little bit more. So again, much like, you got GURPS, which is, legacy, but a very strong legacy system. Warhammer, same thing. I guess, it makes sense that they don't want to, they don't want to like say, oh, everything before this you can't use because it's completely different now. Jason said, will it have the same page numbers as the old edition?
We demand it. Let's get on those forums.
Right. Cubicle 7, do not change the page numbers.
How dare you, sir, try to change the...
There'll be like 5 blank pages with nothing on them, right? And then like a paragraph, just so that paragraph can be on the page it's supposed to be on. Oh, now here's one that is kind of that I really like, is the Alien RPG, right?
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
So I haven't had a chance to play it. I have a copy of it. Haven't had a chance to play it. But it looks really good. It looks like a lot of fun. Really super well put together. I mean, beautiful book all the way through, cover to cover. So they re-release. They've taken the edition they have now and they call it the Evolved. So it's not like it's kind of referred to as a second edition, but it's not really. It's basically
it seems revised to me from what I've seen. Like they just cleaned it up after feedback from like 10,000 people playing rather than their playtesting group.
And so what's wild is that so this is by Free League.
This is one I've pre-ordered, full disclosure.
Did you? Okay, cool.
I missed the Kickstarter on the very first one and was, just for whatever reason, you know how that goes. And I was kicking myself. And I have played the second one several times with, some really good DMs, Paul Smith, Jay Parker, like great people who just, and it is a blast. The stress mechanic is so well crafted that it adds the pressure.
And you can talk me through the next couple of images. All right. So, just before we get to that though, this thing raised like $2.5 million on the Kickstarter for the Evolved edition. That's nuts.
It was hard to tell because it was in kroner.
Right. Yeah.
How many dollars is that? Yeah.
I had to go to the converter thing to get that number. But it's apparently your copies are going to start shipping November 18th. So
yeah, that's fast.
That's awesome.
Too. But they same thing. Free League has got it down. They aren't kickstarting until they're done. You know what I mean? Like they're looking for printing money to get out a great product and then ship it to their people.
That's pretty much what we do. We do the same.
I think that's what all of us do at this point. If you're looking at backing a product and they aren't, just done but waiting for a couple pieces of art kind of thing, then unless they have a strong track record, you might want to think twice.
Yeah, it gets a little There's been too many people out there that have they've burned their customers, right?
Yeah.
But they've also burned us other creatives that want to use something like Kickstarter because now people are like, why should I trust you with this money? I'm like, because
that was $20 that could have gone to your book, right? And to help keep you produced the books, and you would have delivered for them, and 100%.
Yep. So, but if you go and you can go right now and pre-order this, and if you pre-order it right now, you get instant access to the PDFs. So you can download and play this game now, which I think you have, right?
Like a bundle discount if you pre-order it too. So you get, I don't know. Off if you order I think it was like the Game Master Scream, the campaign, and then the new core book. So it was a great deal. And it was
here. Speaking of which, there you go. So this thing up in the top, if you're listening to this, we have an image up right now in the top left for the people who can see it, we're showing like the box set and then the rules. And now that's for the starter set. There's a starter set and apparently like just the core book.
Yeah, so they had options of the starter set, which kind of has an adventure, a bunch of reference sheets, like some miniature tokens you can use, and a bunch of cool maps and pre-set up character sheets for you, and some dice too.
Okay.
So that's all stuff that'll make it easier if you're running or playing this. And it has like a thinner rules booklet that's kind of slimmed down from the core one. So it's great for a pass around table kind of copy of that stuff too. But there's also a core book that they had, which I believe they released in like a deluxe and a regular edition, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of the deluxe, but because I saw it last minute and it looks awesome.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and then a bunch of minis too that you can play with. But this is like supposed to be like towards the aliens Romulus kind of area of the galaxy. Sets up a campaign. The other cool thing is it kind of outlines how you can fight in space because anybody who's probably played the first one long enough has been like, let's fight a xenomorph on top of the spaceship while it's in the space, So that's cool to have rules for stuff like that and to kind of address some of those situations that probably came up. But the maps are beautiful. Like the production value is great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The game, I love the game. It's a blast to play. Like it really is. I mean, I don't know. They say a campaign. It would be interesting to see how a campaign would go. I've played a lot of like 1 to 4 shots, like 1 to 4 kind of nights of gaming.
Right.
But now, I suppose I lived through about half of them.
Is it? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it a lot like Call of Cthulhu where but surviving is winning? That's it.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't get anything. You get to live.
But it's worse than that. It's surviving, and then you have to deal with the corporation, which is very much like Blade Runner. Like
right. Oh Christ!
Oftentimes one of the players reps the corporation there, so you've got like one person who's sort of in line with your ideas, but he also may just sacrifice you all to like get the data and leave. May just be like, Marines, go in, I'm right behind you, then like shunk and shoots off in the escape pod. Like, oh no.
So we were watching my daughter and I, she liked Alien. Like she really liked Alien, the original.
It's a great movie.
She doesn't, it's a little odd. She doesn't like action movies at all. She doesn't like to watch action movies. So I couldn't get her to watch Aliens. She started to watch it and she's like, oh, it's too much action. I don't want to watch this. Right. And then, but
you gotta picture on the building terror of it though. You gotta be like, listen,
I know
this isn't an action film. This is 5 jabronis who are unfortunate enough to have machine guns who discover their like,
I need to like convince her that it's not really that much of an action movie. There is action, but it's not an action movie.
And I still say that the star of that movie is Newt, right? Like that's
really of course
the main character of that movie is that little girl.
But where I was going with this is it's funny because we're watching Stranger Things. We're rewatching seasons 1 to 4 because season 5 is about to come out, and her and I are huge fans. And the guy who plays Burke, I can't remember the actors. Paul Reiser, yeah. So Paul Reiser, who played Burke, is a scientist in Stranger Things. Yeah, and he's the corpo.
Really is, yeah.
And I was like, she's like, oh my God, I don't like him. I was like, you're not supposed to. It's Burke.
He's made a career out of being unlikable.
And she's like, who's Burke? I was just like, oh, you got to watch the movie with me, girl.
She would dislike him even more. She would be,
Yeah, she has a particular hatred for Sean Astin, which is interesting to me, but she really can't stand him. Like he died, he spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, it's a couple years old now, but when Bob gets killed, she was like so happy. She was like, good, kill him. Like, God damn.
She's rooting for Shalab and
right.
Get him.
She's always like, she's always just like, fat hobbit. It's hilarious.
Filthy hobbits.
Yeah, right, exactly. So anyway, they said let's see, just a couple more points here. The RPG in case you don't know, lets players portray human life as an expendable resource for the greedy corporations and blood-soaked androids of the galaxy. This one features new iconic items, ships, locations from alien Romulus, like you said, allowing players to travel back to Jackson Star and explore the mining colony. Now, let me go to this next image. So this is the character sheet. And when I saw this, again, I haven't played it yet. I really want to. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I like what they did here. So like, instead of your character starving to death or dehydrated to death or whatever, you just check the box that you are starving, right? It's like, you don't, there's no,
you just get to certain levels and then it happens. The stress kind of builds that way too. There's like your stress level builds and it affects your gameplay.
Right.
And everything is just kind of popped off those main attributes that have been, sort of divvied a little bit more based on what your specialties are. But it's a fast system, a clean system.
Like well, it's sort of like it doesn't have to be complex because, like you said, you're not going to be playing, 50 sessions with the same character. Could you? Sure. But I don't think the DM's doing their job if that's the case. But I like the fact that it's boiled down to what characters in that genre doing the things they're doing. That's it. They stuck with that. They didn't give you a whole lot like, well, what if I want to play a mechanic who goes off into a colony where there are no aliens? No, that's not the game we're playing.
This game for me too definitely feels like, hey, Peter, come on over Friday. Yeah. And I'm like, here are the aliens characters, pick the one you'd like kind of thing, like this is the squad kind of thing, or this is the science team, or this is the, whatever it is, you kind of set it up to match what you're running.
Yeah. In fact, I think this is probably a super like an awesome convention game. This has got to be built for that.
We should peer pressure Jay into running for us this year.
Okay.
Because I would definitely be down again.
I'm sure he's good at.
I like to try to play the pilot so I can escape. It's worked. Maybe I shouldn't admit my strategy.
Oh, I love getting killed at cons. I love it. As long as I get to go out with a bang.
It's aliens, right? It falls apart like when it hits the fan at some point, and you're like, your plans mean not much of anything at all.
I mean, dude, if I could get a chest burster, that's even better.
Oh.
Have you watched the series, the Alien series?
I really like it.
Yeah, it was good.
I got to be honest with you. I was hesitant at first because I'm like,
it's not going to be good. I hadn't
really heard much of. Well, I'm thinking like if they're just like, I read the Aliens vs Predator comic, so I had in the back of my mind like, if one of them has read this and it's just like a ship seeding aliens on Earth. This is going to be so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they've like delved out into this sort of like edge space, rim space where they haven't explored, and they've found other xenomorphs that are just as terrifying. I think honestly, the original alien xenomorph is not the star; it's that eye thing. That thing, terrifying.
It's taken over. Yeah.
Terrifying. Like,
I know, right?
And it's way smarter than they think it is. Like, you're like, oh my God.
No, it's very cool. I really like the show. I like what they did with it.
It's like they took Blade Runner with the corporations, and then we're like, this is it's so well done. It really is.
It's good that they put it on Earth because it actually allows them to have realistic conversations about the other corporations and other things that are going on. Because if you were on a spaceship working for a corporation, having a long discussion about the other corporations would seem kind of shoehorned in.
Well, and all the corporation discussion there was like, and you're getting this like, green screen message from Wayland Yutani, like, secure xenomorph, like, oh.
And the characters were really good. Like so they, just because we're talking about aliens, right? They put, they took those kids and put them in those, older bodies.
The actors have done well with it too.
They did a really good job. At first, I didn't like it because like, oh God, this is gonna be like, I'm gonna like see these adults walking around like kids. That's so weird, right? But then it was like, just took me a few minutes to get. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. This is. I mean, how else would they do this? You know what I mean? Like if you put a 12-year-old in a 20-year-old's body, they would look weird. They would do weird things. It just, stuff that only like a 10-year-old would do. The way they hold their head, or they, joke about things, or
or get kind of goofy randomly at
yeah, that was good.
inappropriate times, and
but it wasn't over the top. Like they kept it in check. I'm just saying they hit every beat. I really liked it.
I like it too because they've really embraced like all of the different like human futures for sci-fi and sci-fi games and stuff we play, because they've got the cyborg guy, right? Like they have your Shadowrun guy who's completely you're completely modded up as one thing. They have a fully sort of mechanical body people. They've got like it's just they really embraced a lot of different potential sci-fi futures and kind of mixed them into one amalgam in a pretty smooth way, which is, it seems like it's meant to be. It's it seems like a probable future, unfortunately.
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, we're gonna get Star Trek. No, we're not getting Star Trek.
I remember people to try to remind people too that you think of Star Trek, but then you go to the real world, like Deep Space Nine at the edge, they're still dealing in money and there's struggle and poverty, and like once you leave those little core worlds, it's
always horrible. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so let's go to the last story. Invincible. Do you watch this at all? Read the comics?
I don't, to be honest with you. I'm not too. I know what it is, and I've seen a couple episodes, but it's not one that I'm super familiar with.
Okay, yeah, I got started reading the comics because I was watching the show and I really liked the show. I started reading the comics and I really like the comics. It's sort of like it's definitely in that league, the same league as some of the new stuff that's come out, like The Boys, where they took the comic book characters and in the story elements, and if something crazy happens, the real result comes about. So like you don't have a supervillain punching some guy and he flies 20 feet through the air into a brick wall and then just gets up a few minutes later and runs away, right?
Just pulped.
It just pulped. Like if somebody were to hit, if Superman were to accidentally hit a character in this genre, their head would fly off and there would be blood everywhere. It's a very realistic.
The art is very reminiscent to me of like Image Comics of the 90s. Like it's got I dig that vibe. That's the art is nice.
A lot of people don't know this, but the guy who wrote Invincible is the same guy who wrote The Walking Dead, Kirkman. It's the same. It's the same writer who came up with these. Like this was his property as well.
Definitely very different artists. Because that's one I have read, and that one. Do you know?
It's a funny thing. He tried to get them to pick up the Walking Dead comic, and they didn't want to do it. Right? The higher ups didn't want to do it. So he told them that, oh no, that's just where it starts. It's going to end. It turns out that aliens are doing all this, and they're going to be fighting aliens. And they were like, oh yeah, now we're in. He totally didn't do that. Awesome is that?
He just puts some like vague archaeological reference in the last one. It's like, we are the aliens.
Right. But anyway, so Invincible, it already kickstarted. This one only raised $407K. But it's
solid. But I mean, for a named property, I agree. It's like
maybe should have been a little higher.
Well, for a licensed property like that, you expect some nice numbers.
Well, it could be that while Invincible is popular, it's not like Marvel popular or
it's a little more niche.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm like, I've seen it a couple times, but I'm not terribly familiar. Right. So, but as a game system, so is this one that you backed and were all in for?
No, I didn't. I should have, because I like Invincible a lot, and it looks like a good game. I don't know. Maybe I should have. Free League does good stuff. Oh, and they worked hand in hand with Skybound Entertainment. And Skybound is the company that produces Invincible. So it's going to be accurate. It's kind of like when you have a writer who like actually sits with the director when they make the movie. Because I think, which one was it? I think it was maybe Sin City. I believe it was Sin City. The creator wouldn't license it to anyone, but the guy, Rodriguez, I think, was a director, and he went to him and said, "Hey, I want you to be a co-director." And so he came, I think it was Miller, came and basically sat on set, and they made the film together.
Awful though, to like create something you had this vision of that just gets, warped into something you didn't envision it as.
Yeah, happens to Alan Moore. Happens to Alan Moore all the time.
All the time, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's pissy with his. He's like, God damn it, these Hollywood types.
I figure he'd figure it out at this point and like put some riders in his contracts or something.
Well, I've always been an advocate for. I'm just like, you watch a Hollywood movie, especially something that's genre based, sort of like sci-fi or fantasy or whatever, and the characters are doing one thing, and then like something happens and they have to magic their way out of it, or there's something they should be able to do, but they don't do it. And you're like, well, why don't you you got this ability? Why don't you? I'm like, you need to have a role player sitting next to a writer.
Yeah. Who's like, everybody empty your pockets. What do you have? Yeah,
right.
For real.
Cause I mean, it's like a role player would sit there and he's like, all right, so then he gets stuck in this thing. No. He can fly. I'm going to use my fly skill and fly out of here. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess you could just fly out of there, couldn't he? It's like, yeah, you need a role player to sit with you and help you develop your story, because that way you won't, make mistakes of, forgetting things that they can do or can't do.
I definitely think they, some, especially Hollywood's products can get in the danger of being in an echo chamber where they don't have, an outside voice who's like, that doesn't seem reasonable.
Right. That's true. So anyway, so this game, it uses their year zero engine, which is a D6 dice pool variant. And it's compatible with the Alien RPG. So I guess you could send aliens against Invincible.
I don't know, though. So superhero games are very difficult, in my opinion, just with like power levels and stuff. So how would you? Yeah, I don't know. I
think they do some. I think their thing is sort of exponential or something. So like, 2 points of strength is double 1, but then to go to 3, it's like 10 times or whatever the scale is. So I think that's how they do it. The old DC system used to do that. Let's see. So you're going to roll a dice pool, which is determined by your attribute and your power rating or your power rating. They use a single. So if you roll your 6-sided, a 6 is a success. An additional 6s grants stunts. So you're going to roll a pool, and I guess as long as you get 1 6, you succeed. If you get no 6s,
so the higher. Yeah, and the more 6s you roll, the cooler you whatever you pull off.
Yeah, and the more likely you're going to succeed in the first place.
How about power generation? Like? I'd love to see. Is it that's what?
Didn't
right?
really.
How do you figure out what powers your character has? Like that's. I wonder.
Oh, I don't know. Because I downloaded the quick start, the one this guy reviewed, and it doesn't have anything about how you make your character in it, because it's just quick start, right? They give you some characters and some rules and a little scenario. So I don't know how you make your characters up, because in the show they're all over the place.
Quick start, familiar characters.
Oh yeah, they're characters from the comic.
So maybe you can only play. Maybe there isn't a character generation. You might.
No, I think there will be. I'm pretty sure there will be, because I mean, who wants to play a superhero game where you can't make your own superhero? Come on, that would be a killer.
I know. That's why I'm like, show me the powers table. Right. Let me roll some powers.
But they do have this thing where it says failing an action allows a player to push and re-roll all non-6 dice.
So that's similar to the alien stress mechanic, right?
Is it okay? So that's what it does.
So you can push your rolls that can make So if you fail, worse things will happen. But and generally that sort of thing will stress you anyway, so you can only do it so many times. And I'm not sure how that would work in Invincible.
So is it like, for example, let's say I'm gonna hit the alien with the I don't know, I got a pipe wrench, and I'm just gonna hit the alien with my pipe wrench, but I fail. And then I gain the stress. Could it then, if I have a success, then it's like, yes, you do hit it, and now you get splashed with its blood because of that.
Yeah, yes, okay. Very much could happen, which could add more stress, which could then you panic, and then
right.
And sometimes, for some reason, it always happens in that one too. That like when one Marine panics, they all start panicking. You're like, oh no, like cascade Marine failure, like it's happening. Like
man, I might have to buy both these games because it sounds like, you know, you've played the alien, so you've played the system and you like it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it sounds like it goes good with Invincible, because Invincible, it's not like, you know, other superhero movies where, you know, your superheroes are going to be okay. I mean, anyone on the show can die at any moment.
Oh, I like that. So,
you know, it's a lot like The Walking Dead, where, like, you know, you could have a main character just bite it. So that might be worth checking out.
I'd be interested to try this too as a superhero game, to see how that rolled as a system. And because like I said, like the superhero games can be tough to make.
They can be. It depends. I mean, I think, in my opinion, Champions was super good. It was like the first really good one to do it. I liked it more than Villains and Vigilantes. I liked it more than DC's game that they put out at the time. And Face Rip, not so much.
Still a classic Face Rip.
Are you? Yeah, that was never mine.
We played a lot of it. You know, we were.
I bet.
It's like, but it was
it's Jay's favorite system.
Yeah, I know. Well, Jay's done G-Core, which is sort of like his own riff on that, which is great. It's just as fun. To play. You know, it's a bunch of superheroes with their serial numbers filed off, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
But he's like, that's a fun game. It works well I mean, all of the superhero games I find work well in certain circumstances, but you got to be like all agreed. Like, no, we're neighborhood superheroes, or we're city superheroes, or we're intergalactic. Like, there's got to be some sort of good thumb on the scales there for whoever's running those games.
Yeah, you don't want to have like, oh, Robin's in your party and Superman's in your group. Like, that's just, how do you do an adventure with that? Like in a role-playing game.
And that was one of the weaknesses of the Face Rip system, right? Is like, I could roll like Hawkeye, and then you just rolled like the equivalent of Superman. I'm like, well, shit. Right. I'll get the car, I guess. Like,
right, yeah. I'll do your laundry after
the fight. Yeah, did you want a pretzel or something? I could.
Exactly. There was a game, I can't remember, but they used, the powers all came from something called Nova. I forget what the superhero game was, but basically it explained that why Superman could pick up an airplane by the nose and the plane doesn't just bend in half and crumble, because it's not that he's not obeying the laws of physics. He's not that strong. He's bending physics to be that strong. So then it bends the physics of whatever he's interacting with. So that's why their heroes could get knocked through a wall, or they could lift, because it was the mythology of it had that built
master
in.
Physicists.
Yeah. So I mean, I like it when they do that. I'm like, so long as you have a set of rules, as long as, you know, you have that and we can obey those rules, I'll let anything go.
Yeah. And at some point you got to suspend your disbelief for anything involving, you know, any role playing or superhero, or, you know, if you go into the Incredible Hulk movie and start like questioning medical science in it, then, you know, you're there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. If you're like, well, he gets so much bigger, but where does that mass come from? Do you know how much E equals MC squared? He'd have to build a nuclear bomb to build a creature that big. You know, I think, come on.
You're like, your first problem should be his pants still fit him. Okay. Like, that's.
Well, it's the purple ones. Purple. I don't know what it is
about the purple. They get those stretchy waists.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so there's, like I said, there's a quick start. It looks good.
Sounds like you might be trying this for us at Total Con this year.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I have to get away from have to get away from having to run our own stuff to do that. But at any rate, here, I want to show you something. Hold on. So here's a character sheet.
It's nice and clean.
Yeah, I mean it's decent. It looks very superhero-y.
And that's nice.
One
You
of the
can print
characters.
that, print that on a single sheet and kind of like bifold it, and you'd have not a lot of.
Yeah, because you could. This isn't a full-size book. You could reduce this down if you wanted to, even.
Yeah, right. Like just use that left-hand side.
Yep. And then here's Invincible, and you can see they've got some attributes, and then powers. So I think it's pretty simple. They don't go too crazy with it.
It's always nice to see the power, how you generate the powers when you're generating a hero, and whether, because they've got to, run that fine line of being specific without being too specific, so you can add your own sort of flavor to it.
Yeah.
I'd be excited to see how they manage it with this.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, that is the news stories for this week. Ian, what is it? So you have Silver Brûlée, right? With you and Rocky.
Yes. So
tell everybody about that.
Well, we're a tabletop games publisher. We own no system. So we publish either systemless stuff with our zines or adventures for other things. We just had put out recently a Shadow Dark adventure called the Temple of the Sheep God. I probably have one sitting around here somewhere if I dug around a bit. And we did, actually this one I do have. And then we did another WHPA, which is Joey Royal's game.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a great one there. So we put out lots of different adventures. If we're putting out an adventure for a system, it's because we're playing it and we like it. Because we try to, do what we enjoy doing and what we love. But that's
wait a minute. How are you going to make your millions doing that?
I'm definitely not in this for the millions. This is all of my my bonus energy goes into this because it's fun to do. And it's especially fun to do with a friend as your business partner. I think you can understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but our next one will be another Shadow Dark, which is a big petrified beast that is now a cave that you get to go explore and do some shenanigans and hopefully not die.
Yeah. So the Shadow Dark, man, everybody seems to love that game. I've never played it.
Feel free. You could, if you're not running when I'm running at TotalCon, just hop in. I'll make space for you at a table if you want to give it a shot.
Okay.
It's nice. I think it. I definitely like that. It helps the torch timer helps to focus people, and it's not the only system to have used that mechanic. I think they just.
What is it? How's that work?
There's like a live torch timer. So any light spell or light, there's no improvision. Only lasts for an hour. And once an hour is out, then it's hard. More monsters start appearing. They're a little tougher to fight. You have disadvantage fighting in the dark, kind of thing. But it really is a nice bridge between 5e and a lot of the old school systems.
Right.
And I think at this point, I don't foresee myself playing a lot of Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons, but this version is nice. It takes some of the great things about 5e, and it's kind of just merged it with BECME, in my opinion. And that's perhaps not a description you hear about it often, but it's like you're single class, your class is your job. That's what you're doing. It's very much like that. And there's not a lot of deviation from that, but it's easy to make character classes, and it's got legs. It's fun. It's deadly, which I think 5e was missing.
That's definitely what I heard.
Well, yeah, you can't. I
heard it's it's actually hard to die.
It is. I got someone mad at me at a convention game because I ate him with something. He's like, which would have attacked other people, and I'm like, well, it's like a big monster that's hungry. It's got you in its mouth. I feel like it's gonna just keep chewing.
Yeah.
And I killed him, but there were gasps from the 5e crowd. I gave him another character and everything, but he was a little salty. But I think that a lot of those 5e players aren't used to that sort of style and I get it, it's fantasy, it's not real, but you want enough realism for there to be real danger. Like if there's no real danger in going into the dungeon, you're like,
Dude, there's nothing like playing a first level wizard, right? In 1E.
Yeah, you're a walking scroll. Yeah. Those darts, man, those darts.
One dart.
Get enough of those, or just. But yeah, it's a different game. I did it last time I was at Game Hole, not this year, the year before with my kids. I was playing. They're like, "Let's play this 5e game." I'm like, "All right, I'm in." And I just like go balls out with 5e characters because they're not going to die, right? Like it's very rare. Like one of your team members gets you a chance. I have 3 chances to get myself back up. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, I was, very much braver than I would have been with an old school character who would have been probing water and, a 5e character is a rental car.
Right. Yeah. Your old school character. I listen at the door before I go in.
Yeah.
Just kicks
is everybody ready? Yeah. Is everybody ready? We're going to check the traps. Did we check for traps?
Leroy Jenkins!
Check the ceiling before we go. Like,
right. Yeah, you're watching out. There could be a lurker above. There could be, stopping and checking every room for secret traps and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like the game where your 10-foot pole ends up being a 7-foot pole after,
Chet just said 10-foot poles. Yeah. It's funny when we were playing. We never did the whole like spike thing that you could spike the doors open so they wouldn't close on you. I don't remember us ever doing that. And I was reading something a couple of years ago and I was just like, is that a thing? And I asked him, I was like, oh yeah. Spikes. You always get spikes.
We were always trying to spike them closed so nothing could get through to us. Yeah, we would always try to pin them closed or spiking them open. Anytime in the games that we played where you'd spike it was a door you wanted to keep open, that door would just like bend that and crush that spike so fast it wouldn't even have mattered. If your DM was in a bad mood, he might have made it to hit roll with the spike flying across the room on you.
Right. Yeah, 10-foot pole. My God, we always have those, and like everybody in the party would have one, and you're just like, why do we all have? And it's like, a 10-foot pole, 10 feet. That's actually a very long pole.
It'd be so awkward to be carrying poles ever. You could not go into any business establishment. You'd be like, oh God, Jesus, right? Like step into a convenience store, just clear off the whole rack of chips.
But you had the bullseye lantern, right? Everybody had that always, and 2 of them.
And a dude to carry it if you could afford them.
I was reading something. A guy his character bought like 100 sheep or something like that, and just sent them into the dungeon to feed all the monsters before they went in.
So they're all sleeping. Yeah, you can drug all the sheep. Oh.
All right, man.
Expensive.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up. You got anything? Are you promoting anything? You got anything?
Not really. I mean, like, look forward to Shadow Dark Kickstarter coming up from us. Probably waiting on some art, and like I was saying to Peter before this, I'm in the last 20%. So that's 80% of the work is that last. Right? Yeah. So we're pretty much there. The manuscript's getting cleaned up. I've got like another room to write that I've been dawdling on because I just, how it is. But but we're getting there. And that one should be, look for that one soon before Christmas, likely mid-November.
Oh, really? So you're gonna launch a Kickstarter that late in the year?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it because I mean at that point I'll be ready to print. And usually once, maybe I shouldn't say this at this point, once like the Kickstarter ends, I'll just print even if I haven't received funds from them yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then just ship as soon as I receive funds. So like our past 2, my last Kickstarter, I mean it ended and I was like it wouldn't let me send the survey because it's like it's too soon. You need to wait. Right. I'm like, come on, man, I'm ready. I
want to go.
Yeah. So I was, so we're generally just like the trains on the tracks and already rolling by the time we're crowdfunding and stuff. We're printing and looking to get rid of them as soon as possible. My goal was to get another one done before the end of the year, so I'm definitely going to do it.
All right. Well, let us know because we'll definitely share the link and spread the word and everything like that once
I appreciate
it's
that.
ready to go.
This is a blast. Hopefully next year you and I will be in Ireland and Jason will be here.
Yeah, or maybe all three of us will be in Ireland.
That would be awesome. I saw it at GaleCon and I'm like, that I need to do some research.
Yeah. Well, he said it was very nice. They're very welcoming, very friendly.
He also said the plane ticket was very reasonable.
Well, if you fly out of Boston, apparently that's the one airport.
Well, I'm like him. I'm close to Boston.
Right.
That sounds doable for me.
Right. Hey, John says everyone in Ireland, or I'm John. Jason says everyone in Ireland. I was gonna say my friend John, his mom is the Irish woman that I'm pretty close to. All these Irish people would come over. Like if they came over, they visited. They'd stay at Miss Aline's, right, or at least stop by there. And I talked with so many Irish people when I was a kid, and I can now speak the Irish accent. So like when they're talking, because a lot of times they're like, and you're like, what? Because I remember when I was young and they had this party and they had all these Irish people over and they're all talking. And one of them starts talking to me and he's like, and I looked at my friend. I'm like, what fucking language does he speak? What did he say? And he's like, oh, he said blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, but as the years went on.
And there are definitely places in Maine and, anywhere in the Appalachia we could take an Irish person. They would not understand anything an American was saying.
Dude, I don't think you go into some places in Appalachia and it's another one I understand because my family's from there. But I can understand why, hillbilly be talking to you and you'd be like, I don't know what you just said. What language are you speaking?
It's great.
But I mean, that's another one of the ones I get because again, I used to listen to it growing up as a kid.
So hopefully, next year look for us all as special guests at GaleCon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
GaleCon, if you're listening,
hey, are you coming down to Page at all? Are you doing that one?
I'm not making Page this year.
Okay.
I was not able to, but I've done it. I did it the first year. And then it's a tough time though, like that, right? It's right after
Christmas.
Yeah, so it's like right after I've taken a bunch of time off from work. It's tough to then take another couple days off. So that's.
But you'll be at Total Con for sure.
Oh, Total Con, 100%.
Yeah,
Total Con is always like right after my birthday too. So it's
that's awesome.
Special birthday attachment to Total Con. It's the.
Well, we'll see.
Blast.
We'll see you there then. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I will start working on Jay to see if we can set up an Aliens game. It'll be a blast.
Cool. That'd be cool.
So, and I bet hopefully Jason will play too.
All right. Well, hang tight for just a minute, everybody. As Jason usually does it, I'm going to do it. Like and subscribe. That whole thing, it helps with the channel and spread the word. We do this show as an outreach from our company. Try and make sure we stay in touch and relevant with everybody.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, please do. And we'll see you next week. Next week, Jason will be here. He'll be back from over the pond, or what is it? Is it over the pond?
Other side of the pond.
Other side of the pond. That's what I was. Yeah. Anyway,
no.
See you all next week.